Okay, we should be live, but I don't think it doesn't look like it's working yet. So tells me it's live. Okay, anyway, now I've got this. Tells me it's live. Oh, hold on. Okay, anyway, now. Okay, hi everyone. Sorry, I've got duplicate windows going, and which is very easy to do when you get involved in all this craziness. So, hello, Jeffrey Adam. I don't know if you can adjust your camera at all, but your face is kind of cut off at the bottom. It would be better if you were able to lower your screens a little bit.
How's
No,
that?
that's better. Okay, great. Or you could just back up that way more of your head gets shown because it looks like you wanted to have the sign back there. But sorry, we're going to put your product on the screen in a minute,
There we
just a
go.
minute here. And so it's great to have you on the show again. You've got a great product, and I'm very happy to bring it to the audience. And so, what I'd like you to do is introduce yourself a little bit, how you got into Micronic silver. And while you're talking, I'm going to put this on the screen so people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, I'm Jeffrey Adam. My company is Micronic Silver. It's a type of silver different than colloidal, ionic, or nano silver. I actually invented our product in 2012 and brought it to market in 2019 when they did the lockdown with the pandemic. We launched our product because it does help with a lot of different natural health natural remedies for health products. Um, and it's just been an amazing trip. I started off as a contractor for 38 years, and God put this idea on me, and I invented the product. Got into regular silver in 2007, got into the Micronic silver for health, and created that in 2012. And in 2019, opened up my company, and we've just been going like gangbusters. Our product works so well for people helping with natural immunity, and what the pandemic did is it got people more away from big pharma. More natural products, more things that simulate well with the body. And we've got some of the top people that, Judy Mikovits, Sherry Tenpenny, Brian Artis, all these natural health people that have logged onto our product. And our goal is to get it out there and make people healthy. As it's going on and on with the Freedom Patriot stuff, I got a little bit more into a lot of the other stuff that's going on with, combating the transgender issues and the dysphorias and how the physical health affects the mental health. And so I've been speaking a lot on that. But I just wanted to inform your customers. I've been on here several times. Your customers really like the products. And I wanted to talk about some new products that we just launched that about a month ago. And that is our oral care products. So, a lot of the big stuff in the news, especially at the highest level of government, is fluoride in toothpaste. And we come out with our Silver Bright tooth spray, which has silver and ozone in it, that repairs capillary functions in the gums, helps with sensitive teeth, that kind of thing. And we don't have fluoride. We use silver and the ozone in it. And that product has just been flying off the shelf. We literally sold out in 10 hours because people are looking for remedies that don't have fluoride in it, products that taste great and don't rely on abrasives to clean the teeth, which scratch the enamel off the teeth, causing, tooth decay and stuff like that. So we came out with that, and it's been amazing. So I would like to just invite your listeners to come to our website, micronicsilver.com, and check out our products.
Okay, that was very fast. I'm looking for actually our window here, which seems to have disappeared. So stand by. But why don't you talk while I'm looking for our window?
Yes.
I hope we're still online.
Okay, so for those out there that don't know about silver, and yes, it's the mineral silver. It is the silver bars that are out there. Um, Before 1923, silver was the number one prescribed antibiotic in the world, and Rockefeller tried to patent it because he was the one who started Big Pharma. And when he couldn't patent it, A, because it's all natural, and B, it's because of our monetary system. Several years later, they discovered penicillin, and realize that they control the supply. And when they can narrate that the lie or the disease state that causes it to be, outweigh the demand, outweigh the supply, they can pretty much charge whatever they want for the product because people, are viewed or told that they need the products. And that's been the history of big pharma all along. So they take something that's natural, they revise the compounds in it, find the natural compounds, they isolate it, and then they create a synthetic version of it so they can patent it. And then they purposely keep the supply low. And then when something, when you're looking at an antibiotic for flu, when the flu comes out there, they keep the supply low intentionally. And they narrate that everybody's going to get the flu. Everybody needs to run out and get this. Doctors are prescribing this. And they create a flood of demand for it. Now the price goes up. And it's really just a license to print money. And when it comes down to it, every single pharmaceutical out there is plant derived. It comes from a plant. They isolate the compounds and they make a synthetic version. And the same people that are the pharmaceutical companies that make this product are the ones that create the fertilizers, that create paints and toxic chemicals. This is really the arsonist calling the fire department because they're creating the disease state and send you to a doctor who's pushing their drug. And I got into this and I want to get the truth out there to people that there are all natural things out there that work. It's not all about my products. When our customers call us and they'll tell us, hey, I've got like eczema, well, your product works on eczema. I'm like, well, ours will help with the side effects and the ramifications of having eczema. But if you want to get rid of eczema, technically it's a deficiency of omega-3s. So when you take an omega-3 and you have the right balance of omega-3, it's physically impossible to have eczema, but you got to take an omega-6 or omega-9 or the omega-3s don't assimilate in the body. So a really good fish oil for 6 to 8 months usually gets rid of that condition. So we've gotten really a real big following now just from helping educate people because we want to help people get well. I had my construction company for 38 years. I could have stayed doing that and I made really good money doing that. I'm getting older. Of course, it gets harder to work construction, but I had 28 crews running, so I was just kind of telling people what to do. This became a passion for us, especially after 2019 when the pandemic hit and all the lies came out there, of getting the truth out there to people, letting them know that there's great all natural products out there and that are affordable. And it's not about making money for us. I'm not going to say we don't make money. I mean, I do want to retire at some point in my life. I don't want to work till I'm 95. But we haven't raised our prices since we started getting the products out there. And that's a pretty big thing because with a lot of the tariffs going on, a lot of the stuff that makes some of our secondary products, the prices have gone up sometimes 30%, but we still have refused to raise our prices because we want to keep our products affordable for people.
That's great. So in terms of your new products, do you have anything to show, like a, screen that we can bring
Yeah,
up?
so if you can see this, this is our Silver Bright tooth spray. And what sets it aside is it is literally a spray. You spray in your mouth, it's a liquid, and then when you brush your teeth, it foams up just like toothpaste, which is really important because that foaming action drives it up under the gums and gets in the teeth, beyond the layer of the gums or the edge of the gums, which helps prevent tooth disease, tooth decay. It tastes really good. We use actually a peppermint essential oil for our flavoring. We created our own sweetener in there. So we didn't like what was on the market. We wanted something all natural. Couldn't find it. So we actually created a sweetener that's got prebiotics and probiotics in it. It's got fulvic minerals in it. Just 100% all natural products that don't raise glucose levels. And it actually turned out so well that now that's going to be a standalone product for us called So Great. It's SURG number 8. And it tastes, looks, and feels and functions just like sugar. So
Okay.
it's an
Um,
amazing product.
okay, so I can bring your website on the screen because showing the bottle like you just did, it's a little hard for people and they need to actually see the site. So is that all right? Do
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
the products on there?
Yes. So if you go on micronicsilver.com and they're right there, the first one, those are the two brand new products. We've got the tooth
All
spray
right,
and the mouthwash,
great.
our products, we invent and make, package, bottle, and ship our products all in-house. So everything here is made in the United States. It's not made in other countries. I had a toothpaste that I wanted to do for 5 years, and all the tubes come from China. And we don't work with China. And a lot of the ingredients like polyethylene glycol 80 is it's made from petroleum. So a lot of these products have non-natural ingredients in it, and we won't do it. So I finally gave in to the point, well, I'm not going to find a container for toothpaste, so we made a liquid. And it's literally been flying off the shelves. We sold out in 10 hours when we were at the Healing of the Ages event. I've had to make 5 new batches, and it's only been a month. And this product, if you know who Dr. Sherry Tenpenny is,
Sure.
she tried
Yes.
it and she actually said it is the most amazing oral product she's ever experienced in her life. She said it is literally that good.
Wow.
It tastes great. Literally sensitive teeth. If you have sensitive teeth and you spray it in your mouth, you brush your teeth, literally that sensitivity is pretty much gone on contact. Halitosis and gingivitis. And it tastes really good. And that was the main function with when we created it. We want something that tastes really good. We don't want something, when you try the clays and stuff, they're pasty, they don't taste good, the baking soda. Our products actually taste really good because then you'll use them. And then we also made a matching mouthwash to it. And the mouthwash is a concentrate. You can just take a couple drops and put it in your mouth, and you use it as a refreshener. And actually, if you're using a tooth spray, you actually don't need the mouthwash. You can actually swallow both of them because they're all chemical-free, non-toxic. So it's got the Micronic silver with the ozone in it. So actually, it's beneficial to swallow. I'm in the habit with when I brush my teeth and it foams up, I always spit it out because I'm in that habit of doing it. But technically, you could. And the average person swallows between 5 and 7% of toothpaste anyway when they put it in their mouth. And we have a lot of people that have autistic children or children with mental handicaps, and they always want to swallow everything that goes in the mouth. So we're not putting toxic chemicals like the fluoride in the body. And for those that don't know what fluoride is, so there's a lot of confusion on fluoride. The government says it's a good thing. The Dental Association says it's a good thing, but we know better than that. Fluoride is toxic waste. It is the waste of making fertilizers. And what happened is the fertilizer lobbyist lobbied our congressmen and senators and said, well, wait a minute. Technically, if you can sell this toxic waste, it's now not waste. It's a commodity. So if you can sell it, then it takes the toxicity off of it. It's not a waste product, it's a commodity. And that's how they got it into our system and got it into the dental associations. They started off in the 50s and 60s with using fluoride to brainwash soldiers. Fluoride makes you more susceptible to suggestion and easier to brainwash, and it calms you down a
Right.
bit.
Great.
So that's how it started. And then they said, well, how can we get this out there? I know, you know what? Kids in school are getting a little more rambunctious, a little bit, more on edge. Let's put it in the water system in the schools. So not only will the kids be more sedate, they'll also be easier to teach because they're more likely to sit there. And that's how they actually got it into our society. And then, of course, got into with the Dental Association, where if you want to become a dentist, you have to promote fluoride.
Incredible.
It's been an evil poisoning. To give you an idea of how bad fluoride is, it's 10,000 times more toxic than cyanide.
Incredible.
I mean, you'd never put cyanide in anything you make, um, because people know it's toxic for you.
That's
If you spill an ounce of fluoride on the ground, you're required by law to have a hazmat company come and clean it up.
wow. Had no idea.
Yeah, and this is what they're putting in our society. And one of the side effects of fluoride is it actually calcifies the pineal gland in the brain.
Great.
I believe that's why we're seeing with
It's
that. And
unbelievable. It's just it's endless, really.
well, what you're seeing here is a pattern of long time indoctrination, long time implementing things. If there's one thing that our powers that be learned from the Chinese is that the long-term goal is more beneficial than the short term. So when they can get us to poison ourselves by taking stuff that's bad for us, they don't even have to push anything. They just put it out there and say, oh, by the way, it does this. And what they underestimated when COVID hit, and they created this, I call it the pandemic. They compared it to the plague. Well, the plague was 1348 to 1350. 300 million people died from the plague. It was 13% of our population. And that's why whenever something happens, oh, it's the plague, it's the plague. We've never had anything like the plague after that. If we had 13% of our population, I mean, you're talking almost 1 billion people dying. I mean, and it's
Okay.
been nowhere near that.
And well, I don't know anything about the plague, as you call it. If it's, you're not talking about the Spanish one, are you?
The bubonic plague
Oh,
affected
well, I
Europe.
don't know anything about that, but I can say that when you look into these things, you find out that they created them, that they got them from somewhere, like a body frozen in Siberia or wherever they say, and then they took the toxin and they injected it and multiplied it and all that kind of thing. Like they put 1 million of these bacteria and various poisons, toxins into the COVID. So that's what they really were creating is a concoction. So I can imagine. Now I do have a specific question for you. I don't know if this is something you can answer even, but I have a friend who does probiotics,
Mhm.
and she has a company that's very, healthy and very specific about the kind of probiotics she's using, so and so. So what I wondered is, one thing they say is these two things are mutually exclusive. If you use the Micronic silver and the probiotics, that they cancel each other out, or the one gets rid of the other. They're not positive together. Is that true to your understanding, or is there something left out of that equation?
No, there's something let out of that equation. So when you're looking at a colloidal silver, an ionic silver, or a nano silver, they're nondescript in their destruction. They eradicate single cell organisms. What they do is those three types of silver are typically a sublingual delivery only. So it means absorbed under the tongue. When you
Right.
swallow them, it hits a stomach acid, creating silver chloride and destroying it. So those only stay active in the body for 6 to 8 minutes, colloidal, ionic, and nanosilver. And then they start precipitating and get washed out the lymphatic and waste system. What they're really good at is once they start entering a cell through the membrane, they disrupt the chemical lung of the single cell organism in a type of suffocation. They hit it with an ionic charge, killing it, and then it's trapped inside that cell, gets washed out the lymphatic and waste system. But they are nondescript. They go after single cell organisms, good bacteria, bad bacteria. It doesn't matter. They kill all of them. And that's where the micronic silver is different. We are the only people in the history of the world to stabilize silver organically, meaning we're not adding chemicals as stabilizers. It's in the production, it's in the machinery that I invented in the process that creates it. The micronic silver stays active in the body for 6 to 8 hours. It's not destroyed by stomach acid. So it's a sublingual and an ingested delivery system. It works with your immune system to boost it, and it does not destroy the good bacteria, only the bad bacteria, because it's exocellular. Ours is not required to work inside the cell to be effective. So what
Right.
it does is when this is your bacteria, fungus, or virus, this is your micronic silver. When it comes in contact with it, a micron is a subatomic particle with extremely high atomic mass. It actually pulls the electron through the cell wall, destroying the membrane wall. It takes in the electron, which an electron is a battery, figure your battery for life in every organism. A micron is a form of an ion, which means missing electrons. It cannot hang on to that electron. It ejects it into the blood, giving you energy. Now, rather than getting washed out of your lymphatic system, ours goes after the next bacteria, fungus, or virus for 8 to 10 hours. The difference in the types of silvers, the colloidal silver is a particle. It's a little particle, and over 10 parts per million becomes toxic in the body. That's why you'll always see, colloidal silver don't take over 10 parts per million because it creates these biofilms. And because it's a particle, it's a larger molecule. Well, it's a particle, not a molecule. It's a larger entity that when goes to get washed out of the system, it can get caught in the epidermal structure of your skin. And that's when people talk about turning blue or these side effects from taking too much silver. The colloidal silver, or I'm sorry, the nano silver, I don't do nanos. And I was actually in a conversation when I first started the company. Judy Mikovits called me and asked me, said, why don't you do nanos? And she goes, I don't understand what I'm seeing, but you seem to know about it. And I said, well, it's changed with current. It's static. So you need electricity to change it. Our bodies are polar, are negative and positive in our body. So every molecule of water has a negative and a positive, just like a car battery. And if something is changed with current or statically, if you're highly acidic in your body, you're sick, the nanos can flip polarity and become toxic in the body. That's why you'll always hear her say, don't ever put a statically derived nano in your body. If it's mechanically made by spinning so fast, that's different. But when you're dealing with silver, you're dealing with gold, you're dealing with copper, you're dealing with zinc, these are metals and minerals at the same time. So they have to be charged with current to change them. And that's why I don't do nanos in the body, and I don't suggest anybody else do it in the body because they can flip polarity and become toxic. So that leaves the ionic silver. They're all decent products. They've all been used for a long time, but they're unstable. So I took it route from the ionic silver, and how do we take this and make it something better? And that's when we got to change the structure. Ours is a 3-step process, not a single step process like all the other ones. And we actually created the micron for the micronic silver. So ours is uniquely different in the industry. We own Micronic silver. If it's Micronic, it's ours. It just works differently in the body. Our customers, I mean, you've used our product. You've seen how it's worked for you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it's excellent, really. In fact, anytime I get any kind of issue where I think, oh, I might be getting sick, I just take some of that and it goes away instantly. It's amazing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna
I
send you some
do.
of our tooth spray to try. So that way,
Okay, that'd be
you know,
fun.
one thing that I guess a lot of people probably don't know this, but when we do the podcast with people like you, we're very picky on who we go on podcasts with. And people like you are like, send me the product, I'll try the product. I need to know the product's gonna work. They're like, Jeff, you seem like a nice guy, you seem knowledgeable, but I need to know the product works if I'm gonna have you on my show.
Sure.
And
Well,
that's the podcast we do is people, they try our product first. And if somebody, and we've never had it happen, but if somebody were to say, yeah, your product really didn't work for me, I wouldn't want to do their show
right.
because you built your base of customer. They're trusting you and your knowledge and expertise. And we want to make sure that when people hear about these products, that they do everything that we say they're going to do. And if they don't do something, we're going to say they don't do this.
Right. Well, now I think I've asked you this before, but every show is different. So, um, you sound so much like a scientist when you describe all of this, right? But I don't know. Am I wrong? You don't have a science background, or you do? What's the deal there?
No, so I was a general contractor. I actually quit high school when I was 16. I've got ADD and dyslexia. I read upper left to bottom right, so I never finished a test in my life in school, and I wasn't about to just be pushed through. So I quit. I opened a construction company. I was really good at math. Actually, that's kind of like ties into the science part of it because in my math classes with calculus and trig, I actually created my own formulas. I created my own scales. The way that they did it, they wanted me to do it didn't make sense. I was like, that's such a long way. You can just do this, this, and this. And much like science, you can take any formulation, and if you have one measurement, you can scale everything else based on that one measurement by percentage of volume or size or mass. And when everything's broken down to lowest common denominator, you're always going to have the same answer. So I didn't want to take 23 steps to get an answer. I was like, I could do it in 4. And it was the correct answers. And my teachers didn't understand that. So after battling with them and them accusing me of cheating, I was like, you know what? I can go work. And then the day my class graduated, I went and got my GED. And by that time, I was getting into construction and doing my own plans and blueprints and did that for 39 years. But in 2007, I met a gentleman who was a nuclear level biochemical engineer. He was one of 8 in the world. He had over 180 patents on medical devices with the federal government. And I was doing a construction project. Actually, it got slow. I was installing the high-speed wireless in Chicago, so I had to go to the top of the high-rise buildings, and he was in the penthouse. And I had to go through his penthouse or apartment to get on the roof. And this man, at 80 years old, he'd have his computer laptop open with like 40 different windows, and he would just be doing calculations between them. And he was brilliant. He probably forgot more than I will ever know. But it intrigued me. And that's when I realized I could read formulas because he was doing a formula and I looked down at the formula and I'm like, oh, it's 23.9 grams. And he's like, well, you don't know this. I'm like, well, this is this, this is this, this is this. I was really interested in science as a kid, so I kind of remembered a lot of the periodic table. I was like, well, this is carbon and this is this and this is that. And he's like, well, you're asking me, you're not telling me, so you don't know. I'm like, well, okay, fine. So 15 minutes later, he got done with his calculations and he goes, okay, it's 23.9 grams. I'm like, okay, you wasted 15 minutes of my life I'll never get back. And that started it. And he's also the gentleman that introduced me to silver.
Okay.
So I actually, for a year and a half, I spent about 6 hours a day with him, 6 days a week, and I really just memorized everything that he taught me. Yeah, that's why I tell people I'm a researcher. I research. If you know who Brian Artis is, he's the same way. He's a guy that he is a
Yes.
contractor, but he's an amazing researcher, and he has the amazing ability, much like Judy, for retention. Now, if you ever talked to Judy Mikovits,
Yes. I've
it's
interviewed her.
it's very difficult because she remembers everything. I was going to the Reawaken in North Carolina last year. I think it was last year or the year before probably. And she says, "Hey, I'm in Battle Creek, Michigan with RFK and Del Bigtree. where are you at? And I said, well, I'm going to be heading down to the Reawaken. She goes, can you swing by here? I'm like, well, it's kind of on the way. And so I swung by there. I picked her up and she rode down to the Reawaken, 17 hours in a vehicle with me. And she didn't shut up the whole time. And I love Judy. I mean, we're really good
Yeah,
friends.
she's great. She's really
But
great.
but
Yeah.
trying to understand, especially when she doesn't have her board and she's writing stuff down,
Uh-huh.
it's
Well,
very
the two of you might I would have liked to hear that conversation. That would be a lot of fun. Well, I mean, maybe we have you on the show together sometime.
oh, I would love it. I'll call Judy tomorrow and say, hey, let's
She's
talk
been on
to
my show. She'd probably be happy to. It's been a while, because it was during COVID that I interviewed her and all that stuff. But yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. Now, I just want to make sure, just in terms of time and in terms of what you wanted to bring to us today, is this it, or is there something more you want to get into?
No, I just wanted to let people know about our products. I mean, the new ones, the two spray and mouthwash, I want to let people know because it
Right.
is so amazing. I mean, it's literally, and it goes a long way. So, our 4 ounce bottle for one person is like 7 months.
Okay.
And it's affordable for, and that's our family size. So what we did is we launched our family size 4 ounce first, and it's 31.99 on sale for right now till the end of the year. And then
Okay.
we're actually launching our 2 ounce bottle so people can take it when they travel.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I think, around 26.99, and then the 4 ounce one's going to 42.99. But even that 2 ounce bottle is probably, a 60-day supply for the average person, which you think about it isn't really bad for an all natural product that has nothing, no chemical in it whatsoever. It's 100% all natural. Like I said, you can swallow it. It gives you the fresh breath. Sometimes I've got the mouthwash, so if I need a fresher during the day, I'll just take a couple drops and put it on my tongue. It's a concentrate, so it's real strong. And it's really interesting because when you first put it on your tongue, the mouthwash, it tastes like water. And you start rinsing around your mouth, and suddenly the mint flavor just starts building and building and building. And then the tooth pain
Uh,
goes away if you have a toothache. So they're incredible products. And a goal with all of our products is to keep them affordable. Nobody wants to pay $150 for a product. It's like going to the dentist.
right.
We try to keep everything under an office visit. And then this is, quote, what you would take, what your body's craving for healing, where you're not buying the medicines afterwards.
Okay, so what you could send me is the travel size because I travel a lot, and so that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll send it to you because I do want you to try it and I do want to get your feedback on it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think you'll be in the line with Sherry because when she tried it, she literally, I seen her and right away she goes, Jeff, I have to tell you, this is the best product you have. She's like, and she uses our Arcanum 1200 for pain. That one's more powerful than morphine. Our customers have been telling us. She uses our Neuromint
Okay.
for her neuropathy. Works real well. So when I have people that I've interviewed or that interview me and they talk about our products, these are high level people that have been in the natural health for a long time, and they've all gotten on board with us. And now our goal is just get it to as many people as possible. And the more customers we have, the more people that want our products, the easier it is to keep our prices down.
Right. I hear that. Now this Arcanum you just mentioned, what are you saying about it? I don't quite understand.
So that's a tincture you can do under the tongue. It is on our website,
Yeah.
and you do it under the tongue, and it's a silver ozone hemp and CBD. And it's from a Delta 8, not a Delta 9. So it's non-cyclodenic. It doesn't make you feel high. It works
Okay, what is it for?
for pain and
Oh,
inflammation, stress and anxiety.
all right.
So we have people that have been on morphine that are like, it's not working for me anymore. They take the Arcanum and literally in 20 minutes, their pain is 80 to 100% gone with the first dosage. And that's the product on the right.
Okay.
So that's part of our quote CBD line, or hemp line. So that's got silver, ozone, hemp, and CBD in it. So that's the only product that we know of in the world that works in your central immune system, the cranial immune system in your brain, and the cannabinoid system at the same time. And the big difference is when you're looking at the pharmaceuticals, they work at inflammation at the tissue level, where that works at inflammation on the cellular level, which in the cannabinoid system is the nicotine receptors, which control pain and inflammation in the body.
Oh,
So it's a whole different type of, easing the pain in the body naturally and getting the body to work for itself. The
great.
one to the left of that is our Sonic Mist nasal spray. And I have to, again, this is silver ozone hemp and CBD. This is probably the most powerful nasal product on the planet.
Mm.
It does burn going in, but it'll clean out the gestation tubes in the ears, the drainage canals, release ocular pressure behind the eyes. I've had people could breathe out their nose for 20 minutes, the spray in their nose and go, boom, suddenly they can breathe. Brian Artist talks about this product all the time. He's like, if there's one product, he goes, I use this product every single day. Everybody's got to have it on it. Your children got to have it. And if there's one thing you got to get, and we've gotten a lot of customers that have given us feedback on it. I myself use it because I have allergies. And if you have allergies, you're more destined to get colds more severely. So you
Mm.
may not get them as much, but when you do get them, it always goes into the lungs. It always goes into the head. So this is a real good product for that. If it's just like a cold or flu, we have the Micronic Silver nasal spray, which is 100% Micronic Silver. That doesn't burn going in. So that one's really good for children.
Okay.
And that one would probably be up versus down.
Okay. Hold on.
So yep, there we go. So that's the Micronic nasal spray there.
All right.
Has a real strong spray. That one can go in the nose, can go in the throat, can go in the ears. So that's our ear, nose, and throat. It's got a strong spray. So sore throats start at the top of the throat. So if you spray that in and hit the top of the throat, the sore throat goes away almost immediately.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then the one right
Okay.
next to that is the Nero Mist. That is also silver ozone hemp and CBD, and that's the one that Sherry had mentioned for her neuropathy because she didn't have a typical neuropathy where she had the pain; she had the numbness, and she's like,
Mm.
as soon as it hit my feet, that numbness was gone. She goes that
Awesome.
uncomfortability. So again, we have really great products. I just like to offer the discount through your discount code to the customers when you
Okay.
go to our
Yes.
website.
Right. So it was on the screen a minute ago, but let me see if I can get over there quickly. Great. Because I want people to see it. It's right now I put it on, it's on my website. So it just says discount code and you put my name and 88 and that's it. So yeah, I use it all the time. I'm very happy with it and I do recommend it. So thank you so much for going into the detail on a scientific level because I do have, some viewers that are very into the science of this type of stuff. And, they're going to question everything, right?
Yep. Well,
So,
the reason that's important is, I mentioned a little bit about the gender dysphoria thing and this, you know, they're attacking us at a bunch of different levels, and we know who they are. When you're physically not healthy, it affects your mental.
yes,
And now you're looking for answers, and if you get to a point where anything that they tell you that works, they want to work. You want to try it, and that's how this gender dysphoria came about. With well, there's more than just man or woman, or there's more than just this. Is they've taken things that are dysfunctions and say, no, it's completely normal. You're okay. And they build you to believe that stuff, and it's that constant drip of these things that desensitize people to it. And suddenly you're accepting things that 10 years ago you'd be like, this will never happen. They'll never take
right,
God out of our churches. Well, that happened because the desensitizing drip of it. And so that's why it's really important when you're healthy on the inside, when, the old saying, you are what you eat is wrong. You are what you absorb. And with all the pharmaceuticals, all the pesticides, the vapor trails that they're putting in the air, the chemtrails, the fuels, the exhaust from the cars, we're getting blasted like they weren't getting blasted in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And that's why
right,
all these things are coming up. And when you look at, say, the celiac disease, what wasn't around in the 60s, that happened after they modified our wheat. They went from 17 simple protein molecules, which your body would assimilate, to 3 complex protein molecules that your body can't break down, especially after 33 years of age. So they've actually chemically created diseases for us. And so when we can get back to all natural things, your body will restore itself. God gave us everything we need to be healthy. We just need the minerals, we need the vitamins, we need the things in our body because we're not getting them from our soil because they destroyed our soil. So once we start getting these things, now our minds are going to clear up. Now we're going to say, well, wait a minute, that does not make sense. That's a lie. And
right.
they really underestimated us when they locked us down from the pandemic. Finally, people started, you can't go out and get this, you can't go out and that. Well, they're not poisoning us because we're in our house now. So we're not getting all that outside poisoning. Now we start thinking clearer. And that's how they really underestimated American people.
Okay. That sounds logical. I think that people, became very aware very quickly. I know I just started researching like crazy and got all sorts of whistleblower back channel information and did interviews with people like Judy Mikovits and Robert O. Young and others. And yeah, I'm glad we found you. I can't remember. I guess I think I found you through my toothpaste guy, right?
No, actually, I met you and
Sorry.
another woman you were traveling with in Texas.
Oh,
I think it was a Reckoning Fest,
okay. Yes, I did
and we
go
went
to
out to
that.
dinner.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
We were
I
at
had no idea
dinner.
who you are. You had no
No,
idea who I was. We
I
just
just liked the sound of what you were saying. And so I said, sign me up. Where is it? And at the time you didn't even have your product out or something like that,
no,
right?
we were a micro company. We just barely had the website, and you said, "Hey, I would like to
That's
get your
funny.
product on my
Yeah, I
show."
remember that.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't know who you are, but I think somebody told me who you were, and you had a podcast, and you had a lot of followers, and I'm like, I can't go on her show. I can't produce what people would want. So it was about 2 years after that
Yes.
that I reconnected with you, and I think it was Larry at that point who had mentioned that he had been on your show. And I'm
Oh,
like,
right.
I said, I got to reach out to Carrie because I've been promising her when I get going, I'll get on her show. And
That's
we went on
right.
your show, and again, it was a big success. I mean, we had a lot of people that got on board with our product, and we still, I believe that we have an 89% customer reorder rate of our product of at least 3 times. No, I can't talk another company in the world that has that. I can't even think of one. So our products do
Excellent.
work well, and you've been very gracious to us, giving us time. You're very cautious about becoming a sales channel show.
Yes. Yes.
So when we come on, we want to talk content of things other than just, hey, buy my product, and we want to educate people.
Right.
So thank you for the platform allowing us to do that.
Well, thank you. That's what I like. I'm like my viewers. I want to know the details, and I think they do too. So it's always great to have someone like you who really knows exactly what they're talking about. And I'm not going to name names, but there's some products out there I've been asked to have on my channel. The CEO won't even talk to me. I mean, this is not a good sign. You know what I'm saying? So you're the complete opposite. So it's great, and you're very eloquent, and you know your stuff. So it's great. All right. Well, I'm going to thank you for being on the show, and everyone. I always have your ad on my website, but right now it's also on my Telegram channel. We're trying to be better about having ads like more obvious for people, but obviously they can go to your website here. It's macronicsilver.com, right?
Yes.
Okay. And
And then use the Carrie Cassidy 88 code for a discount.
right. And so these are the new ones. And I mean, I can tell you, I have this one, I have this one. I use the spray. My dog has issues with her ears. I use that on her ears because, it's topical. And yeah, so I use a lot of your stuff.
Well, thank you so much for your belief and faith in us. And really, when we have products that work as well as ours do, it's really very, very easy because we don't over promote them. We don't promise things that they don't do. And much like, you having the truth out there is really important. We've been lied to enough, and we're very
Right.
cautious on whose shows we go on. So we only want to go on people that will stand behind their claims or what they say. And like you, I have a lot of people now that, our company's growing and growing. And they know I know Brian and Judy and Sherry and Dr. Ely and all those people, and
That's
they're always wanting
great.
me to promote their products. And it's like, I can't take the risk of endorsing a product and have it not work or be bad, or find out that the person's in some scandal with something or something like that.
Exactly.
And then people go, oh yeah, I tried that product and it's not good, and it's on his website, so his product's not good. So we want to make sure we're in it for the long haul and that we're helping people heal and by getting the truth out there.
Great. Okay, Jeffrey, thank you very much for being on the show, and thanks everyone for watching. And I'm going to run the credits so you can go and you don't have to keep watching after that. All right, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Carrie. Bye-bye.